Listen, girls and boys and everyone in between. We are back this week to do a little reality recap. But I have something for you. If you didn't catch it last time, you're going to catch it today. Yes. Listen, that's like the hype song. That gets us ready to go and get on here and talk trash with y'all about these reality shows, okay?
Get to the mess. Yes. Well,
so
we introduce ourselves. I'm
we
Kandron.
scheduled for us to chat. Oh, sorry, Kandron. I'm apologizing to the people. Hold on. We scheduled for us to chat last week, but I had a family emergency. So that is why y'all didn't see us. So hopefully y'all join in and join into the comments as you always do later on in the week. But as Kandron was saying,
I'm Kandron.
I'm Deja. And collectively, we are Black and Curious.
Yes, we are.
But yeah.
What are you drinking today?
Yes, girl. And I got to have me a little piece of fan. Where's my actual fan? It's hot in here. I am having what is this? Mayomi Cabernet Sauvignon. This is very good. This is my first time having it. So Mayomi for the win.
Yeah. I am having
I'm just fanning myself. This is so country. Let me get an actual.
I am having what is this? Prickly pear version of this Flybird margarita that I'll be drinking.
Listen, I finally saw them in the store. So for the holidays, we finna be lit because I'm gonna come with the tequila to put into their cocktail.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, the prickly pear is better than the blood orange, but not as good as the passion fruit. So I'm just gonna stick with strawberry passion fruit going forward. But I did add some tequila.
See? Okay. And you can't talk about me no more. I will drink the tequila. That's not my thing.
Well, it's not, but if it's a margarita, I mean, that's what's in it. So, and I do like a cute margarita from time to time. So,
yes, you do, friend. Yes, you do. I'm not mad.
So, anyways, before we get into it, just a little housekeeping note. We always put timestamps to the shows below in the description box, and all of our beauty and cocktail details will also be below.
Yes, it will.
All right, where you want to start?
Oh, let's go on down to Huntsville, child, and get them out the way.
Sure, I'm so sick of talking about them clowns. My God, today.
So here's the thing. Melody gets on my nerves. I was on Team Melody, but she is on this train of I'm independent, hear me roar, mother of four, got my own, so on and so forth, which is great. I'm not knocking that, but it's just her attitude, how you talk to your so-called friends, the way that she talks to Destiny, even though the time and the place that Destiny chose, girl, why?
The girls do not have good time and place radar.
None.
They be all over the place. Because I was actually in agreement with Mel on that. I was in agreement with Mel that entire conversation that she was having with Destiny, because I was like, first of all, time and place, but second of all, somebody can be in your village but doesn't need you in theirs. That's a thing, so Mel has her family.
People just don't tell you that,
right? Mel has her family there. She's got Martell. Destiny is by herself and newly divorced. Why would she want to drop 4 kids off with Destiny? And then come to find out the kids don't even like Destiny like that. Allegedly.
But my thing is, Mel didn't have to tell her that. That was so petty. That was
petty. But my point is, or just young mothers, for instance. I had a young mother, and my aunts and stuff, she was the first one to have a kid. So they didn't need no village. They were single people in frolicking. She was the one that needed a village because she needed somewhere to drop me off. It doesn't have to be an equal whatever. But I understood her, but she was petty for telling Destiny her kids ain't like her like that.
She said, you know what? They don't even like you like that.
I was like, ew.
Why you gotta talk to her like that?
You didn't have to say that part.
The other things that took me by storm, so to speak, is like that. So skipping right on along, that conversation between the girls and Tiffany. Like, I get that y'all are irritated about her and her, like, oh, transparency this and transparency that, and I'm so transparent. I get that you're annoyed, but just damn say that. Because the thing is, you could have came right out of your mouth and said, you can be so transparent when none of your actual business is out on Front Street for the world to see. You know our business because you've been watching the show prior to us coming onto the show.
Absolutely.
So, like, save it, sis. If that's your tagline, let it go.
Yeah, I agree.
But
you can say that when you can say that, but also like they're not entitled to all her business, which is what got on my nerves with Tisha, because she was just like, well, what's going on with your ex-husband and this, that, and the third. It's just like, girl, nobody owe you that.
Tacky just like her mama.
Tacky. I'm just like,
the apple did not miss her.
Baby, I don't even know that apple even fell from the tree, child. She's still on the tree. But
because girl, I was sitting there like, I mean, because really, thank you, Tiffany.
Okay. I was like, okay. I mean, I understood where they were going. It's like, for me, it's like Giselle. You know, Giselle, even though she's crazy, I go up for Giselle. I kind of like Giselle a little bit. But
I mean, I do too, and we'll get there. We're not there yet, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But it's just like Giselle. Like, the girls are always like, well, what's going on in your life? And she's like, well, listen,
a whole lot of nothing.
A whole bunch of nothing, and whatever it is, I don't have to tell you that. And it's like, well, y'all can also tell her to mind her black ass business, but she's all over here, but you don't. Mm-hmm. So that's your fault that you don't know how to set boundaries.
Ding, 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 ding.
I have nothing to do with Giselle and nobody else, y'all.
Girl. So back to the apple. Homegirl, like, you tried it. Like, I get that you was trying to like zing her as she had like did everybody else and Tisha, but it was like, boo, like, this is not it. Because right now you just look messy and ridiculous. Like, if you wanted to get to the tea and be messy in doing so, there's another way to do that. Like, I guess we should call it the Giselle method. Of asking somebody something shady, but it be received like, oh, well, yeah, because they just open up to you, because she's good at that.
I'm gonna be honest, I be pulling that shit sometimes too. Like, when you kind of like, you might have heard a little piece of something and you be like, well, let me go find out what's going on. But you have to do it.
It's quiet.
You have to do it in such a way. You got to do it in such a way,
I mean, and you are right. But
and sometimes you don't get the tea. Sometimes you take the L. But at the end of the day, a lot of times you do get the tea if you just know how to ask, or if you just know how to say it right.
That part. I just like, girl, like, she was, I just be like, Tisha, you was so close to being right that you took a left turn right at the get off point.
Isn't that always her problem though?
Like, damn, because my thing is, like, your point is that she's constantly in your business, like we've already said. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, she always has an opinion, always has something to say at the table. And so now you want to have something to say because you don't know anything about her. But you could have just said that.
Yeah, that's all she had to say. Kimmy had me dying because Kimmy was sick of everybody. Kimmy was like, you want smoke? Come and get it. Everybody, smoke for everybody. Mm-hmm. She is just so sick of those ignorant people and their faulty logic. She's tired. She is tired of it.
And let me tell you, I really thought that she was going to go in on Miss Tisha at that party. Because it was another thing about not the party, but the event for
the event. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Shut up.
That takes me down every single time.
But I really thought that she was gonna go in on Tisha at Destiny's event. Because like here you are still talking about the same thing, and then y'all go back and forth, and then you run off with Tiffany to go get in her business.
Yeah.
Like, girl, as y'all know, when we miss a week, we have to cover 2 weeks in one. So here we are.
Yeah. Mel's song is terrible, but
terrible. And I tried to sit there and say that was not about Martell when you dead said in the song, you went off and had a baby while we was married or whatever the lines was.
And who said, somebody was like, I ain't never heard that part. They was like, I ain't heard that part yet.
And that part was loud. Okay, it was loud.
Man, that thing was so funny. What else? That song is terrible though.
Terrible. And she can't sing.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I'm like, I don't understand who said what. Like, why? Why did this happen?
It's bad.
Like,
can we talk about Martell showing up down to the function?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are Frozen Boots. Hello. Oh, here we go. Gotta love technology. Hold on, guys. Let's see if I can work out the technical issues here. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I could hear you, but I couldn't see you. All right, well, let's move along. Yeah,
Martell down to the function.
He almost had me. I was like, good for him for, coming and acting like he had some sense. Do not show up places you're not invited. But also,
not to Melody's event, because she'd be ready to kick you out with the security. We saw that last season.
And and it was Tisha. It wasn't even no smoke for real like that for her to be kicking Tisha out. She'll get your ass on. Anyways, the thing that made me mad, because Martell doesn't come on the screen without making me mad. The thing that made me mad was he was like kind of trying to take credit for her success.
I'm like, why are we doing this again?
I was just like,
now is not the time, sir.
And so you showed up to basically be like, well, I made her.
Like, did you? Like, really? So the girl was never singing beforehand, because according to her, she was singing in the gospel choir and this and that when they was in college. Look. Just because she said that she was down to the choir and carrying on in college don't mean that she could sing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's what she
part
said.
Of the chorus, child. She was in the number.
She was singing in the background.
That's really it. But
yeah, girl, Love and Marriage Huntsville was boring to me. I'm sorry. Like I think the previous week was the one where Mel rolled up on him at his house and was giving him the riot act about like, yo, you can't do X, Y, and Z anymore. Yeah. We're not together. The fact that he recorded them and like was trying to show it to her and like all this beef, like, yeah, I'm gonna show up, yeah, I'm gonna do this and the third. Like, for what? You said that you wanted a divorce. Ain't that what you said down to Lewis and Tiffany's anniversary soiree, that you threw divorce out, or she threw it out there first, but you filed first? Like, what are you doing?
He is like the pettiest Betty on the earth. He is so petty.
Tiring.
And exhausting. Truly. Exhausting.
Truly he is. I just don't understand it. Like, I get that a lot of times when a situation ends between two people, the person on the receiving end of the breakup of that relationship can be, you know, very butthurt about it. But at the same time, it's like you knew this was coming already because of the situation that was created by Martell. Like he knew this already. You knew that eventually she was going to leave. And, or technically we all said before that he didn't think that she would ever leave. But once it started happening, like you knew that these times would come where she's going to be out with other people and you're going to possibly run into her because you all live in the same city.
And it's so funny to me that he showed up at the party talking about basically saying like all of this went underway during their marriage and he's happy to basically see
it come to fruition.
How he contributed to her success and all of this stuff. And I'm like, that's real funny because you the one that's broke with no builder's license. Meanwhile, Mel don't look like she done missed a beat. So who made who?
Hello? It seemed to me like she made the company and then he benefited from it, and which is what it's been the whole time.
And listen, I'm not taking anything away from what they built together. I'm sure that he probably was the builder person, but it seems like to me that Mel is the one that always has the ideas for how to evolve and how to grow. And Martell is basically the muscle. So maybe he had an idea of starting a business, but he tried to start a business with Maurice. Marceau. Sorry, with Marceau. And that didn't work out. So the only one that could tolerate you was your wife. So who?
You know what? Quiet as it's kept on the loudest of keys, actually. I would like to know what happened because we didn't know that they ever had no company until 2021.
I'm not going to lie. I tried to look. I looked it up. I mean, I didn't like dig, but I Googled, like I just Googled, like were they in business because the name is Sculpt.
Yeah. But he said
like, that looks like Scott and Holt together. But now I thought that like years ago, like 2 or 3 seasons ago. So I tried to Google it to see if they had been business partners before, but I couldn't find any like tea or anything. But no, I just think Martell is petty and he's probably bad with business, to be honest. He's a person who needs to be the muscle and that's it.
Also feel like he's in charge.
Right. And Marceau is never going to let him do that. And honestly, and also Marceau actually looks like he has some business sense. So he probably got tired of dealing with him.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially if he's out here buying. What was that car he had? He was trying to say a teacher spends more money, and he had a Mercedes with the back doors. I forgot the suicide doors.
Oh, we didn't talk about that yet because that was on the episode right before this one.
Yeah. Like Marceau, if you don't like, you can move on along to Marceau.
Marceau had me dying because he brought them people in thinking they was getting ready to get teach together, and they said the same thing as Dr. Francis. I was like, you hate to see it. They really did get him together, and his plan actually backfired on him. And I was like, you love to see it. You love to see it.
But the thing is, does it resonate with him that his plan backfired? Probably not, because he got that same Martell Holt mentality that he do no wrong.
It doesn't resonate with him in a way that he's willing to change anything, but it definitely, you could tell he felt like he got. He was like, well, damn. You know, like, I thought they were telling me X, Y, and Z, and they got me out here showing the cars off. Like
what you mean? You have, granted, you had one of the vehicles you bought under your business, but nonetheless, you bought 2 vehicles in less than a year, according to your wife. And one of the 2 vehicles is very expensive. I know that Mercedes is got to be upwards of 58, 60,000 or more.
Or more. Definitely more. They just killed me because
she said it was an older model, but nonetheless, the old cars still hold value. So
yeah, that type of car, yeah. And it just killed me because it's like men love to tell you that you spend too much money, but they will have on nice shoes, expensive watches, and a nice car, wealthy ass jackets. Like y'all have taste now when you want to. You don't have a problem with spending a coin on a taste. And the thing about it is women might buy 5, 10, 15 items that add up to your one watch. Like, relax. Relax.
Say that shit, okay?
Relax.
Right.
And that's what Marceau gives me. And like we see Tisha, her fashions ain't nothing to write home about. So, so you know, it ain't like we know she's not down, and it's Huntsville. Like she might go to Atlanta like what a couple times a year and get her little looks, or Houston a couple
But
times a year to get her looks together. But girl,
the
she
way
ain't
they talk about
looking.
Atlanta, or not Atlanta, Huntsville, is that it's like a baby Atlanta.
I'm willing to go there socially, but I'm talking about buying designer clothes and fashions and things of that nature.
I don't know. I think that it's kind of like in that instance. No, because Dallas is wild crazy.
No,
Dallas and
Dallas
Houston
is
are both.
like
Yeah.
money,
But
money,
I
money,
think
money.
that like they on the map now, like in this year.
Okay.
Maybe we can find out. You know, we might do a little weekend trip in Huntsville, see what the girls can see.
You are going to be by yourself.
Listen here.
Actually, that's not true because that's not true. We'll talk about that offline. But no, I don't listen. There might be like this is going to be real shady, and then we can move on. There may be like a Louis Vuitton or like maybe like a little piece of Gucci or maybe like a Saks so you can get everything. But I don't think they have, a full-on experience in Huntsville. I'm willing to be wrong on that, but I doubt that they have a full-on.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't though. Just
really?
based on just based on some of the people that I follow from that area and being of similar ilk as the folks on the cast.
I don't know. It's giving me like, forgive me. This is rude. This is really rude. I know you're not going to take it personally, but it's giving me like people who live where we're from and where you live, like Richmond, Virginia Beach. Like you might have nice stuff, and there's like a Saks, and there's a place where you can go to get nice stuff. But most people go to DC.
I do.
So that's what Huntsville is giving me. Like it might be a Saks there, it might be maybe a Neiman's or something there. But like most people to get their looks off for real, they're going to Atlanta or they're going to Houston.
Okay.
That's what it's giving me. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about it, so I could be wrong.
That's what I'm saying. We just gotta, peruse the little weekend getaway across the US. We'll see.
TBD. All right, let's move on. We've been on them for too long. What else we
got? Wanda and Miss Van.
Oh, Wanda and Miss Van. Miss Wanda, she just need to sit down, and Miss Van be so sick of her.
Hello, I feel like Miss Van wanted to cuss her out, but like I'm on TV and my grandbabies is gonna see this, so I can't tell you what I really want to tell you.
Like Miss Van is that classy. She'll cuss you out, but she's not going to do it like in front of the cameras.
Or even I don't even think that she would do it in front of other people.
Right.
Miss Van would be very regal.
It's like, let me pull you to the side and get you together. Where she was like, do I have to?
I was laughing at that too. I was like, damn, sis.
Damn, Miss Van, you really don't want to be bothered.
And she should have just said no, because you already knew it was going to be some foolishness. But so that Wanda, she got read by Miss Van in the sweetest of ways, and then tried to say, Miss Van know better. She know to shake a bone and get the hell on. I was like, these some country ass people here, okay? I'm gonna say that. She know that he know better. Just shake a bone and get the hell on.
She tickles me. When she said shake a bone and get the hell on, it's like, who says that?
Country people. I'm trying to tell you. That's not even Southern. That's country.
That is country.
That is Bama. And where they from? Alabama. So there you go.
Yeah. Who else?
Like, all right now. That's everybody. Outside of, we didn't talk about Kimmy. Kimmy, real quick. I appreciated that there was finally somebody on the cast to like corroborate her story. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, damn, that person should be your husband and not some outside other person. And apparently the other person is another. How many brothers do they have?
I don't know, but listen, I heard some semantics in what the corroboration was. because it seems like Maurice had filed for divorce. It didn't. He kept saying he filed for divorce before he started dating Kimmy. So he may have technically been married when they started dating. And I don't know if Kimmy knew that or not. I don't know if he said I'm getting a divorce or I'm divorcing or whatever.
But no, he probably was like, as soon as he signed them papers that I'm divorced.
Right.
Niggas.
Or as soon as he dropped the papers, not signed them, but dropped the papers, like that he was divorced. And so I think there was some overlap there. After hearing, and even the friend was non-committal about the Kimmy being a side chick thing. She kind of was like, she cleared it up, but she was also kind of like she wouldn't commit to we started dating or y'all started dating while he was married. She wouldn't commit to that. She committed to the fact that the relationship basically was over and he had moved on and that Kimmy was not a side chick. Which I think are two different things.
When you say it like that, I guess you're right. So y'all let us know what you think.
Please let us know. Was Kimmy? I don't say she's a side chick. If the relationship was over and he had filed for divorce, I feel like, is it a cleaner situation if he had been divorced? Of course. But like if somebody has already filed for divorce and both parties have begun to move on, divorces, especially in certain states, they take long. Like Virginia, you have to be separated legally for a year.
6 months. Oh yeah, you're right.
It's a year.
I'm about to say 6 months. No, it's a year.
It's like you're gonna put your life on hold for a year because you're trying to get a divorce. Like, it gets dicey. So and
she also said the sister-in-law or ex-sister-in-law also made mention of the fact that he did it and then he left, as he said.
Exactly.
He signed or filed or whatever the case, and then was gone shortly thereafter. And then once he got to Huntsville or to Atlanta, because they made mention of Atlanta, he was sowing his royal oats, as Kimmy said, and she didn't want no parts of that. So she didn't date him until like at least a year later, I would assume, based on how they were telling the story.
But based on how they were telling the story, I was like, something is very giving non-committal about these answers. Like the people are saying that that he had filed for divorce, and you know me, words mean things. That's how I felt about it.
Yo, this Wi-Fi today is trash. Why we keep freezing? Okay, I mean you're there. I can still see you. It didn't go away.
It was fine from my end.
I don't know. All right, so
let's move on.
Let's talk Salt Lake City since that was only last week.
I don't even remember what happened.
Fly through that.
Okay.
I think that's when they were in those like the yodeling costumes. I don't know what the hell to call that. I'm sorry. I don't know what to call it, but like they were in those costumes and they got super irritated with not Meredith, the other one, because yes, they got irritated with her because she was telling the story without telling the story, and they was over it. Like, if you're gonna talk about it, then talk about it, sis.
Yeah.
And then Mary was being her usual odd self.
You know what really ran me hot about that whole situation was, what is that child's name? I'm like running through the white women in my head.
The blondie?
Yes. What's her name?
I don't know her name either, but that's what we're talking about. The youngest cast member, because I think she's only like 35, 36.
What is her name?
Whitney.
Whitney, thank you. She pissed me off because she was like, well, we need to share everything. And Jen owes us an explanation. And I was just like,
an explanation about what, sis?
I was like, Jen don't owe you nothing.
And don't. Like, y'all feel too entitled to this woman's life, even though like you have nothing to do with it. Like, you all are just friends, if that. I think you're actually castmates, which is why some of you don't really get along.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is really the tea?
What's the tea? And I really, like, it irritated me. And I'm willing to, admit that it's probably because it was this white lady asking some business of a woman of color. But it irritated my soul that she was just like, no, she owes it. She don't owe you shit.
I don't owe you shit. Because this is not your business. And I appreciate Jenny for sitting there as the newest person on the show to just kind of be looking like, because when she said it, Jenny was like,
what? And then
let me know what kind of people I'm dealing with. Yes.
And I didn't like the fact that they were airing out a bunch of stuff that's like tangentially related to Jen also. Like her assistant or whoever stealing, like that lady. I was like, that lady was well out of, she didn't even look like she was around during that time. You know, like they were just outing like every single thing they heard about Jen or anything related to Jen. And I didn't like that shit. Like, stick to the facts. The facts is there's a federal indictment involved. That's the facts. The DOJ gave y'all a press release full of facts. Focus on that.
Okay. Focus on what you're trying to find out about that. Not all this old shit that you ain't never addressed.
Correct.
Or had the gall to address with her.
Correct. Focus on what Heather said about her untoward business practice. Let's focus on that. Like, all of this extra stuff got on my nerves. I was just like, why are y'all bringing up all this miscellaneous stuff?
I'm so concerned. Like, this is not like...
They weren't concerned.
But no, so concerned in a way that, like, it's BS. Like, that's what I mean, so concerned. Because they weren't like the Beverly Hills gang, in that they were like, well, we've been associated with her. We've done charity events with them. Like, is there any implications that could come back on us because of the years of being, you know, around and doing all the things?
Right.
Like, this is totally different. Y'all have not done anything, because it seems like you've only known each other for like that long.
And also, this is all going through her business. So
it's just stupid.
It was just
so dumb. What was the latest news that you picked up about the sister Jen Shaw?
Oh, it was just a documentary. Also, let me say this. This is a sidebar. Y'all know I love a legal sidebar from time to time. These lawyers, I don't want to be, I don't need a lawyer who is going, that looks good. I don't want a lawyer who's going to be like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and record this for reality. No. Y'all got to be like, no, we're not going to record this. You can record outside of my office, but this is a legal matter. This is a serious criminal legal matter. This is not a lawsuit between you and some rando. This is a criminal lawsuit where you are facing a real prison time. I cannot risk you waiving privilege, even if Bravo chooses not to air it. I cannot risk you waiving privilege about something on these cameras. And of course, now the record in Erica's case, I can't speak on Jen's case because I don't really know what's going on with that. But in Erica's case, they have subpoenaed the unaired stuff from Housewives. So it's not just what makes it on camera. And like there's a credible argument for like, well, you said it on camera. You didn't know what was going to make on air. Like I cannot have that. And if I'm a lawyer, I'm like, you can film outside of my office. You can film yourself sitting down. That's it. I owe it to you to represent you zealously. And I can't have you accidentally making a mistake or making an error and it costing us a case and your freedom in this situation. Can't have it.
But I think in Jen's case, watching that scene with her lawyer, it looked like they sat and had this conversation and he prepped her on what to say and how to respond and what was okay. Yeah. And then they came in with the cameras to record that scene. That sure did not look natural at all.
I'm sure that is true. But my concern would be like, God forbid, somebody goes off on a tangent or something and forgets the cameras there, goes off on a tangent. Now you done damn waive privilege because it was 13 other people production in the room.
Girl.
And somebody now subpoenaing the unaired footage and catches you waiving. I can't have it. I don't think I would be amenable to that for my client in a criminal matter. I just don't think I would.
No, I don't disagree with you. Based on them facts, like, you know, you the lawyer, child, you know the law.
I mean, I'm just saying, in my own situation, I would not. And honestly, honest to God, I don't think it looks good for the lawyer either. And I think like they're probably like, well, girl, I'm gonna get a little piece of publicity. The girls might come hire me. I wouldn't hire nobody that I seen on reality TV. God bless.
But you know, everybody ain't that smart, can.
No, I wouldn't. Wouldn't be me. I would be like, oh, well, they, it would be one thing. Like, and maybe, like you said, they prepped and all. I'm sure they prepped and all of that.
That literally looked like it was like, because especially the lawyers seemed to me like, this is the stuff that I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It was very like, sure. Dot, 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 dot. And then in the rest of it, it was just kind of her responding to him and like getting emotional with her version of the triangles. And like, you know, that was that.
But Jen is just too unhinged that I wouldn't even trust her to be able to stay in the lines. I wouldn't trust her to stay in the lines of what I told her to say.
Child, okay. I almost wonder, like, if she has said anything that was potentially like incriminating. If she had said anything that was potentially incriminating, if the lawyer would have been like, "Okay, cut, delete that."
I'm sure. Oh yeah, for sure. The lawyer definitely would have been like, "Hey, no,
not these hand signals."
Yeah,
girl.
So I mean, I'm not saying that the lawyer. I'm not saying anything about the lawyer. I'm just saying, I don't think I would trust Jen Shah to not make a mess of some reality TV shit. And if I was her lawyer, I would be like, I am absolutely not getting on TV. We can, in the front of the conference room, you can show me shaking Jen's hand, and we go to the conference room. That's all you can show.
I mean, there you go. I ain't mad. You kind of do what's best for your client, and I mean, I hear you. So y'all hire Kandron if you need some legal advice.
Well, girl, I don't do that, so
she's not
for business stuff. That's what you can hire.
There you go. Let's make that clear. Clear that right on up. Okay, so let's slide into RHOP. That's all that was really going on outside in Salt Lake City.
I was bored with RHOP. I don't like these long ass reunions. They get on my nerves.
Yeah, I was bored too. I think that adding Nikki at the end was an addition that needed to be had. I think that she did read the girls a little bit, and I was here for it. And she asked some of the questions that needed to be asked. Because like Andy he asked the shady stuff, but he never asked like direct questions. And so I appreciated that she was just like, okay, so X, Y, and Z. I found it funny that Wendy was reading her damn cards though. I'm like, damn, you nosy. She was sitting there next to the thing, and it was just reading the cards, telling him who was gonna get what next.
And the worst part about all of that was Wendy's reads were still whack. Like you read cards, you had time to prepare, and
still didn't do well, and still wouldn't shut the fuck up. She gave us first season Wendy.
It was just like, God, that
like, baby, shut up. Sometimes you just got to shut up, and that is okay. Okay. Her and Mia, like when it came time for Candiachi to sing a cappella and was unprepared to sing, obviously.
She get on my nerves so bad.
And does. But in that moment, as someone who like, I understand like that stage fright a little bit. And especially if she hasn't really, you're not prepared to do this, like that's throw you off. So like, yeah, she was anxious. Okay, I can give her that. And wanting to, and then having to sing in front of a huge star.
Maybe the huge star part, but Candiachi, like you said, she always somewhere singing and carrying on, getting on my nerves. Because that gets on my nerves.
Everybody's nerves.
That little like all the time. It's like, shut up. We get it. We get
like
it.
She was singing at the outside patio picnic.
That.
And then they showed like poor Karen was going down because she had just had her vaccination shot.
Yes, when she was singing down to the construction zone, that type of stuff gets on my nerves. But
she was on there like, nah.
So now that you're on the spot and somebody asking you to sing your own song, You can't do it, girl. Bye. You like to sing any? She was just singing like 3 seconds before on a break. She was singing some ridiculous something or the other. Sing your song, girl, and stop playing.
I think a lot of it too is that she's always playing around, and to be put on the spot in that way, and then you have like that Mia was on my nerves. Like, Mia, you was all right most of the daggone reunion until we got to this part. Like, sis, shut up. She was just like, sing. Why you can't sing? You're a singer, aren't you? You're an artist. And I was just like, damn.
Shut up. And Giselle was like giving her the business too, but in a loving big sister way. Like, girl. Giselle
was like, sing your shit. Like, I mean, come on.
Nobody wants to hear the eye on the sparrow. Sing the come back now.
That thing was not prepared. And you know what? Oh well, I feel like that is gonna go down in like one of the worst moments in history. Oh well, no, probably the worst on that show was when they got that damn Porsha Williams up there and was singing. Was she singing His Eyes on the Sparrow?
Yeah, that's what she's singing. It sounds terrible, but I didn't think Candy actually even sounded bad. She sounded pretty good. It was just the workup to the whole situation that was like, girl, you are doing the most for somebody who can't shut up ordinarily. Now you clamming up when it's time to do the thing that you claim to love to do. Sing, girl.
Child, I think because like she was also afraid that she's in front of someone who could have a hand in finishing her career or actually helping her to get that career up off the ground. So listen, nerves. I don't never be on Candy Ache's side, but in this here moment,
there's a whole nother conversation that we had about Nicki Minaj being the one to gather anybody on stage.
Carry on.
Because of the carryings on of her husband. Like, ma'am, please. Ma'am, please. And all of her wayward thoughts about COVID. And she has just said some wayward things over the years and has now landed with this wayward man and just like, girl, maybe not you.
I mean, but her attempt the reasoning for her being on this show was an attempt at trying to distract the public from all the things you just made mention to.
Maybe. But I was just kind of like, I mean, I'm not a Nicki Minaj fan like that anyways. I think she's petty and evil. But you know.
I won't go on that far. Petty and evil.
Well, here's the thing. I say that because she had an opportunity to be, this is a side job, but she had an opportunity to be like the elder stateswoman of like the rap girls. And she has done nothing but try to sow chaos and confusion. And like, she was into it with Lil' Kim, then she got into it with Cardi, and now it's like Cardi is down to the girls. You know, she's featured on everybody's record, and like it seems like, and it warms my heart for the most part to see the rap girls kind of like coming together. Like they look like they have a good time together. They go to each other's parties, to each other's birthday parties, you know, and it looks like a good time. And it's probably in part because Nicki is not involved.
I mean, she didn't want to be.
She has isolated herself off to the side so that now that the rap competition, like there's an actual competition and she isn't the only woman in the field. And now that there's an actual, you know, opportunity for her to embrace all of the girls, she's like being shady and messy and petty. Yeah. And it's ugly. And I don't like it.
I mean, well, there you go, friends. That's all of what is it? RHOP.
Girl, it's so boring. And I don't even know why we didn't need 4 parts of that. God
bless. And didn't. They could have really just wrapped it up with that last that third one and let that be the Nicki episode.
Yeah, they could have cut episode 3 altogether. It was trash. And the Nicki stuff, even though she went hard, it was kind of like
it was too late in the show for that.
It was, and also like the people were just kind of like, oh, You know, like nobody really answered the question she was asking anyways. It was just like, you know, and that was it.
What is this face?
It was like, oh, you know, like clutching their pearls, like, I can't believe you asked me that. But like
I know
nobody
Giselle definitely
actually,
gave her that.
yeah, like nobody actually really got into it with her. And before anybody really got a chance to get any good, she was moving on to the next girl. So it was like, it was a waste to me.
I mean, you ain't telling no lies. Let's go into Potomac's sister show, RHOA, and specific to Miss Porsha Williams' family show. What's the show called again?
Porsha Family Values or some value.
Girl, so episode 1 is basically a debunking of alleged attempt. It's an attempt to debunk the beliefs of the public that Porsha is the ultimate man-stealing housewife. And I'm like, baby, like this story that you all concocted still does not make it look any better. I still love Porsha down to her socks, but this shit still looks bad. I don't care how you slice it. It looks like, to me, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the whole elephant on the table.
Do it.
It gives me Dennis, who is like he looked like the PE instructor. Shout out to It's Rocks. Dennis and Simon and Porsha all came together and was like, how are we gonna get this bag? This is what we come up with. So me and Simon are going to be engaged, and you're going to be a part of the show. So you get to be on the show, Dennis, and that way you can also show off your restaurants and your other businesses that you have. And then Simon can be on the show so he can, you know, flaunt his shit and, you know, whatever else have you. And then, of course, I am the draw as Porsha. So I'm going to be, you know, the center point of this whole storyline. Because I'd be goddamn if I met somebody and we hanging out, we having a good time, and then all of a sudden I'm in love with this motherfucker in 2 weeks, and then we're now engaged to be married, and none of my family members know this person. Child, the hell? A lot don't care who tell it.
Not a lot don't care who tell it.
Okay? Shout out to It's Rocks. That's my girl. That's one of her sayings too.
It was like an attempted redemption, but wasn't giving redemption to me. Like
it wasn't. It was like, let me explain away my bullshit.
It wasn't even that, but the explanation wasn't good. And she was like, basically, Simon was like, well, she was sliding in my DMs when she said that, you know, once I announced that I was getting divorced, she was sliding in my DMs. And that don't feel redemptive to me.
Hello, that is not redeeming. She said that he slid in her DMs. He said that she slid in his. Like, again, in the words of my girl Rocky, a lot don't care who tell it.
I just, nah, bruh. Nah. And even if that is true and she was just sliding in the DMs, it's like, you don't need to keep being over there. It's your friend's husband, allegedly. Why don't you ask your friend how she's doing? Like, y'all good?
And let's talk about how. So they on Housewives on the last season, Porsha said that Dennis and Simon were friends, which is how she knows Fallon.
Yep.
In the time in which they got together, it was, well, we were never friends. And Simon, and she said it, I think, on this here show, that Simon and Dennis don't know each other. But last season, I'm like, girl, what? Like,
that's a lie.
If I was naming this here episode, it would be called A Lie Don't Care Who Tell It.
It's a lie. It was a lie.
Because I'm like, girl, what is the story?
Ain't adding up.
It looks very much like we all running after this bag.
Mm-hmm. And then Porsha's mom, Miss Diane always be having
Diane fine. Okay. Listen, I aspire to be that kind of I said, even with her, they say that you can tell the person's age and they name. Even with this part, Miss Diane she is living. Okay, she just need to go ahead and get her little couple of treatments right there, and she'll look like she my age.
Miss Diane be giving it to the girls. Okay,
body yada yada. Okay, she probably I bet you her husband is younger than she is.
Probably.
Shout out to you, Miss Diane.
What cracked me up though was Miss Diane was like, Dennis is still my family. Had Dennis down to the house playing with PJ. Miss Diane was like, you know, they down there.
They house hunt.
They're house hunting. You know, they're looking for a place. And Dennis is like,
Really? You don't say. Meanwhile, he done threw a baby shower and sent a Sprinter van for her birthday.
That thing cracked me out. I'm gonna take both of my earrings out, but that thing cracked me up. Miss Diane was like, I don't know this new man, but I know Dennis. Dennis is still my son-in-law. I don't know who this new man is, but Dennis is my son-in-law. And I was like, that is some black people stuff.
Very much so. I was just like, this is crazy. And Simon gives me very much, I want to be on TV.
Does you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I think Simon gives me, I would prefer to do my dirt in private.
I think that he very much was like, oh, she's famous and fine and on television. Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Because the way that he talks, he gives me like I'm putting on a show.
Fair.
And if that's not the intention, it ain't coming across that way. It's coming across very much as like he wants to be the, you know, eyes on him, center of attention.
Fair.
I also found it interesting that the PE teacher, Sir Dennis, had Lauren come on down to the hot dog hut. I don't even know if that's what it's called, y'all. Don't shade me. But she had her come on down to the hot dog hut and was having a conversation with Lauren. And Lauren was like, well, I mean, I didn't even know that they were that serious until they announced that they were engaged at the damn Mother's Day brunch. And then you put the whole thing on. And he was like, yeah, had I known, I wouldn't even have did all of that. I'm like, how is Lauren your sister and like your business partner and like assistant and all these things, and she don't know what the hell going on either? Like, did anybody run this story past the rest of the cast so that way they don't look like they dragging you too?
No, it seemed like they got together and ran away together is what it sounded like. Because she was like, we were in Puerto Rico or somewhere.
They was everywhere. Costa Rica, Mexico, Puerto Vallarta.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like they dropped this, like they ran away. They dropped the story, like maybe while they were in transit from one place to the next, and just kind of was like, we out. And that's when everybody was like, wait, what? But also they knew each other for 36 seconds. Like there was no time.
And how messy was Bravo for showing all these flashbacks of the previous Housewives scenes and scenarios, especially the one where they was at the house with Fallon. And Fallon talking about something, yes, this is my husband, Simon.
Bravo has gotten incredibly messy, and I stand for it.
So damn, they is coming up on the heels of VH1. Speaking of which, it's a show that's getting ready to come to VH1 that we will definitely have to cover. And now I can't even think of what it is, but I know it's something that you would watch. Shoot.
There's another one coming out on OWN that's like Atlanta listing people. Atlanta real estate. Ladies who list Atlanta or something like that.
Didn't they have that already? Or maybe that was on WeTV. That was on WeTV. That was the one where you had the restaurant in Brooklyn called Sweet Teas
Oh, girl, that was a mess. And then they had like a hair show on WeTV one time that was in Atlanta. But this one is like it's real estate.
Yeah, I think that was also around the same time. If it's the same people, it probably ain't, but they had a show on WeTV that was selling. Maybe were they in Atlanta? Maybe they were in Texas. It might have been Houston or Dallas a couple years ago. But yeah, I wonder what happened to that show, Sweet Tea. That was so dramatical. Shout out to y'all if you watched that show, child.
No, it was the pink teacup. The pink.
There you go. Yeah, Sweet Teas is the one that was on OWN. No, that was Sweetie Pies. Sweetie
Pies is the one where the son killed the nephew.
It's a psychopath. That is so insane.
That's wild. But yeah,
that you really killed your own blood for a come up for a check for $400,000.
Right.
That was what the alleged case was. Girl, we's all over the place tonight. Wow,
It
y'all.
was like chicken and soul or something in soul, hustle and Swiss, something like that. The chicken one.
Yeah.
And they had a restaurant here in Miami for a while. I wanted to go, but it closed down. I just wanted to go and see if it was a mess, like because it looked like a mess on TV. So.
But I mean, apparently their food was really good. The way that they would be packed out in there.
Well, the one in Miami, it seemed like the food was good, but it was like basically like going to the club in the middle of the day, which is why I never made it. Like day party me, but like not while I'm trying to eat chicken and waffles and whatever else, you know.
A little Southern cooking. This is not the vibe for that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that show. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that the reruns online.
I'm sure you can.
We should review that show like as a sidebar, like just bring it
that
back.
would be fun. What a disaster.
That show was crazy. Because he was the owner, the head chef and owner of the restaurants was sleeping with everybody.
Lawrence.
All right, y'all. Look out for that. We might have to bring that back.
What a disaster.
Oh shoot.
Anyways, did we have anything else about Porsha and them?
Okay. What are we missing? I think Porsha and them was Ready to Love. Girl. I really thought they were sending home Cornelius. I really did.
I didn't, because they was talking about it too much. So when they talk about it too much, that means they ain't gonna really do it.
Who did they send instead of Cornelius? Oh, Sean, the new guy.
He was such a weirdo.
He really was. And it's like, so the thing, okay, so this episode was the ladies were supposed to introduce them into their friend groups.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hated about Sabrina's setup was she never told them the truth about what he said to her. He said to her on that day, like, I don't want to lead you along knowing that I want something else.
Mm-hmm.
He asked her blatantly, do you want to have children? She said, quick as hell, no. So he was like, oh, like that, that puts us in a impasse or something like that. But either way, he said that like he's living his life with intention now and that he knows that he really wants to have children. He doesn't want to waste time, his or anybody else's.
Right.
So for her to go and tell her friends part of what he said and not any of the rest of it,
I didn't like that either.
It was very much a setup. It was a firing squad. And so for him, I was just kind of like, get to the point. Like, they're questioning your character because of a piece of what you said. Absolutely. So I would go into that situation and state, no, actually, what I said was, and give them the whole thing. And I'm sure they would have understood that, as opposed to dragging him and making him out to be some sort of fuckboy. No, that's not the case. Sabrina just wasn't hearing what she wanted to hear. So instead told you some bullshit that basically led you all on like a hunting spree.
Yeah.
Kill. Like, that shit was crazy. I was like,
yeah, it was odd. The thing that cracked me up was Mumin and how she had the two men there at the same time.
Walter was all jokes. I am not mad at Walter.
Well, I'm not getting ready to commit nothing to you. You just had somebody else.
Why am I here?
You just had somebody else here. Why would I'm not serious about you at all right now.
He is actually a hoot. I see it now. I see why all the girls on our Instagram channel was like Team Walter over Cornelius when I did that poll last week.
Just saying. Cornelius is odd to me. He is so odd to me. I don't even know why. He just gives me like, wait, what?
He gives me like PK to the fullest. And that his mom or like the women in his life, like family-wise, are very much strong, overbearing personalities.
I see what you did there.
And so because of that, he has learned to just kind of be quiet and kind of meek and a little mild in temperament. But like, being on the internet world here on YouTube, I have perused a couple of interviews with, I don't think they've had him yet, but Courtney was definitely interviewed. And she was just kind of like, if you really watch them episodes, he never said that he was waiting until marriage. What he said was that, we may slip up here and there, which is like, this nigga fucking.
Right. Like,
who you fooling?
That ain't how that work.
Okay, ain't no slip up here and there. Like you wanna get it cracking just as much as the next person. You just don't want people to know your business.
And also, you maybe just want to develop some sort of connection, or you just maybe ain't spreading it low and wide, like you say.
Or he don't want people to really know his business, and that's actually how he gets down. He is a fake nice guy, potentially.
I get it. Got it. And we have a video coming out about that, by the way. So I will link that above. I'm writing down a timestamp.
You like how I did that there, though, didn't you?
Yeah, man. Man, we gotta plug it. What else? What else was going on? Nothing really. These people are not intriguing to me whatsoever.
No, I mean, they really got like maybe 4 attractive people out of that whole cast. It was funny to me though that oh God, what is his name? The one that went on 3 dates. He met everybody's friends.
Oh yeah. I don't remember his name either.
I was like, damn, he is not that attractive or smooth talking. How did this happen?
He's not. Nor is he that, like, he doesn't give me warm and genuine either. So he
gives me warm.
Maybe warm.
Not necessarily genuine when he saw all those friends.
Got it.
Because like I think he was genuine, but I think what maybe puts me on the fence about his genuineness is like everybody asking, who his top connections were. And like, to his credit, he never said anybody was number one. Mm-hmm. He just kept saying that, they're in my, she's in one of my top connections.
Right.
And he said that for all of them. So you have no idea. Basically, it's 3. You don't know which one falls where.
Absolutely.
So like, I'm not mad at that, but at the same token, that kind of made him look a little shifty.
Yeah, a little shifty. The thing I did not like is this show up until now has been pretty good about everybody kind of being on, like, we've seen tension between men and women, like if they're playing other people, but we haven't seen a lot of tension between the women, and I didn't like that. When they were kind of getting
me a lot.
Yeah,
like Nadia really was like on the attack, and it's just like, did something actually happen off camera that we never got to see? Because that's what that seems like.
Maybe.
Because why are you so on edge? Like, what was actually said to you to make you go in so hard?
Maybe, because it just felt like wait, what? Like, it didn't feel organic to what was happening. It was very oversized for what was shown on TV. So maybe there was something else behind the scenes that caused her to have such a outsized reaction.
Because I was like, girl, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so weird? Even Tasia was like, in her confessionals though, Tasia didn't take me out. She was like, listen, I'll give you what you want. Like,
yeah.
But like, even Tasia was just kind of like, what is happening? Like, you doing so much, and like, it's not that serious. We're just saying, like homegirl said, is from the Bronx. If you got 2, that's 2 things on a list.
Yeah, it was muchy. And also, like, at this point, I don't think there's anything wrong with having 2 on a list.
Or having a list at all.
So it was just
there's nothing wrong with that.
It's like, why so much, sis? Why so much?
That shit was wild to me. I'm like, damn, sis, you got to calm down.
But I didn't like that.
The next Friday, it's gonna be even worse. Like, they're really gonna be arguing.
I didn't like that. I tuned into this show for a true dating relationship type of vibe. I don't tune into the show for mess.
Yeah.
Similar to Married at First Sight, but that show has been a disaster. So, but like, I don't tune into it for the mess. There are shows that I tune into for mess, but this is not one of them. And I didn't like them getting into the mess.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I don't understand what the hell is happening as to like, but I did notice too that Zadia's face started to change when people kept mentioning the same person. And I forget who
Mm-hmm.
she's interested in, but it was like because one of them nobody mentioned, which is Naeem. But
Yeah,
then everybody was mentioning like the same few people, and her, just like Camille, like her face was starting to get balled up. And then when
yeah,
she went on the date with him, like she was just kind of like, you never really paid me any attention. And then he said some BS to her about like her being in his top from the day they were at the picnic, but you never talked to that girl. You
yeah,
only spoke to the women who spoke to you.
absolutely.
Let's be real. Like, you never spoke to anybody else. You
Mm-hmm.
spoke to those who spoke to you, the women that pursued you. So that tells me that he's someone that's used to women, like leading.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with you. Agree with you wholeheartedly.
Child.
Um, so I think that's it for Ready to Love now.
Yeah, we don't have nothing else. I think that's actually it for the show because normally we
Let me
do
say
about an
two quick
hour.
words. I need y'all to back me up. Somebody back me up here. Do y'all think I'm moving on to Married at First Sight for like 22 brief seconds? I promise it's not going to be long. Um, I'm writing down a timestamp. Sorry. Um, do y'all think something happened with Gil and Myrla? Do y'all think that Gil did something? Listen, tell me below because Myrla said a specific phrase that I feel like the girls are missing. Myrla said he did something that made me question if I could trust him with our financial future.
Oh shit.
That was like flag on the play. And because of that, I gave Myrla just a little bit of grace because I feel like Gil did something. And Myrla has taken hell. She was taking hell from the experts in real time. She kept saying that he did something, but she wouldn't reveal what. So I feel like
Yeah.
they met in advance or they said something in advance of like, I ain't going to tell your shit. Just relax. And so Myrla didn't give it to the girls, didn't tell what Gil had done. And Gil was there feeling sad and looking sad, and Myrla was just like, I don't care. You can say whatever you want to me. Like, I really do not care. Let me know in the comments. Because
Yeah, for real. I'm newsy.
I really feel that Gil did something. Y'all let me know in the comments. Am I reading too much into it or what? Thank
Well,
you. That's
Kendra
it.
give you a, she's serious.
That's it. That's it. So
All
anyway,
right, y'all. If you
follow
have
us
watched
everywhere.
this long, sorry, Kendra. If y'all have watched this long, you are a real MVP, and we love you for supporting us. As Kendra was saying, follow us everywhere. It is Black and Curious, and good night, y'all.
Laters.